everyone, welcome to Timeless Flux. My name is Sabini, and today we're here once again for a reading which is very special. I've titled it, What is the key action you need to take right now in order to go from shame, regret, from shame, regret, to clarity and understanding, right? So, of course, this whole title didn't really fit into YouTube setting prescriptions here for title, etc. I tried to explain it a little bit better in a description here below, in the description box. But it really came to me as, since we're entering Sagittarius, as I record this reading, it really came to me as a need to face with the same clarity and the same focus Sagittarius would face its own arrow. Like a Sagittarius in the mythology only has one arrow to shoot, and as we get closer to the end of the year, we have this feeling like, what is it exactly that I need to wrap up? What is it exactly that I need to dedicate to? What is it exactly that I need to focus on before the year finishes? I have already discussed in my predictions video for 2023 that the astrological year is only going to wrap up in 2023, March 2023, because the astrological year goes from Aries season to Pisces season, right? So okay, but then there's this whole feeling with the secular, and or maybe if you want the Western calendar we have of making writing our new year resolutions and wrapping up for most companies and types of work we have, so that we can move into the holidays with a certain peace of mind, even if it's not how it works in terms of an astrological year. So I was thinking about which kind of reading I was going to record next. First thing I heard was, do not ask your community this time. Do not make it a poll, because I was asking you guys what kind of reading you'd like to see in the channel, and I intend to do so for the next readings. But this time I heard, don't do that. You need to make a shorter, sweeter video. I hope you didn't hear, but my door is slamming, but it's starting to get really windy outside. But anyway, I clearly heard, distinctly heard from my guides that I needed to bring this video with a message for the end of the year. And of course, this video is timeless. If you found it after 2022, and it's not a Sagittarius season of any year, maybe you needed to find it, listen to your intuition. But I heard that I needed to record a specific message for the end of the year, and this is what I'm doing. And then I didn't know what it was supposed to be exactly. I didn't shuffle the cards immediately, but I've decided to just get a couple of cards of the tarot deck that I'm using here today, which is the La Santa Muerte deck, by the way. And then I draw something that is, it was the Four of Cups in reverse, followed by the King of Swords, and it came to me immediately. This reading is all about something that's a piece of very important key action that would take you from regretting whatever happened this year to a deeper clarity, a deeper meaning, a deeper understanding of the experiences you've been through, so that you can not only wrap up the year with peace of mind, but also wrap it up in style, but also understand what Sagittarius season needs from you, what you need to do before 2022 comes to a close, at least in terms of a Western calendar. So, well, it's too much to summarize, and I've summarized like from regret to clarity. What key action do you still need to do before the end of 2022? I hope you understand the whole process of going about it. And it's a short reading, as I've said. We have option number 1 represented by this Opalite crystal. It's a beautiful crystal, which also represents my very personal relationship, the relationship I am in right now. So it's a very special stone to me. And I hope the wind that's now really coming strong, maybe the winds of change, does not get in our way as I record this reading. This is the crystal representing option number 1, okay? And this pile here. Option number 2 is represented by this clear crystal. It's not a pointer really, but it's a little bit lapidated, if you see, and it's really shines beautifully in the light. This is option number 2. And then I have this Bronzite stone for option number 3, which I love. This is Bronzite, you guys, okay? It's also very, very beautiful. This is option number 3. I have the Tiger's Eye for option number 4. Let me roll it in my hand like this. I normally like to roll the stones a little bit in my hand like this because I think it generates a better view against the palm of my hands. So this is option number 4, the Tiger's Eye. Option number 5 is some kind of jasper. I think it's called the desert jasper, and it's also stunning. Let me show it like this to you. It has shades of, it's very earthy in color. And finally, we have option number 6 with this crystal that I really do not know if it's like just green quartz, some kind of green quartz, but I think due to its color that it might be something else. I've never seen green quartz like this, but I use it as a healing mechanism. So, and it works really well. And I also, I'm thinking about naming it. It's gorgeous too. Okay, so option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, option number 4, option number 5, option number 6. Okay, so let me organize the crystals here like I normally do. I said that I was going to use my full reading for all of the videos since my return, but this is not what spirit wants, what my guides want apparently. So let's go. If you've chosen option number 1 represented by this beautiful opalite here, this is going to be your reading on From Regret to Clarity, a key action you can take on Sagittarius or at this moment in your life so that you can wrap up things better, okay? And this crystal, as I was saying in the introduction, if you've skipped it, it's related to flowy relationships, okay? Relationships that are really, in which people are really in tune with each other. So maybe you're talking about, we're going to talk about a relationship, maybe not, I really don't know. Let's see what messages we have for you. We have the Mending card in reverse. I'm going to show you in a second. We have Gain in reverse, and we have the Tower card upright. Let me put them like this, okay? This is going to be a short message, but let's start with the Mending card. Mending. Okay, the first thing that's coming clearly to my mind is mending is, of course, a part of cure. It's a curing process, a process related to cure, but mending is a little bit different. Take a look at this image. Not different, but it's kind of curing, it's healing, it's an umbrella term, and mending is a very specific healing process that talks about when you need to reconfigure, reset, reattach, reconnect parts of a relationship, a project that were broken, these links that were opened and now needs to be, take a look at the image. They're kind of, they're making this little flags, this little flag line. I don't know how to say that. And they need to sew, they need to think about the colors of flags they want to use, and it's collaborative work. So I think that for most of you, this key action you need to take is related to a relationship, right? That you need to mend. It could also talk about the different parts of you that need to talk to each other so that you can mend the broken pieces of some specific activity. But I see that for most of you, this is talking about a specific activity that you're currently regretting. You currently feel like this was not something that should have happened in 2022, and you feel, you will know which activity, relationship we're talking about, because it makes you feel like something needs to be mended, like this, at least this is what they're telling me, like a sock, or like one of those flag cords here, decorative flag cords here, something that you really need to, you need to sew, and you need to go little by little, and it needs to be done properly, and you need to think about not only the functionality of things, but also a little bit of its aesthetics. So I really see that for most of you, you're trying to ignore the need to come clean, the need to say some maybe harsh truths in a gentle way to a person or to more than one people involved in a tough situation that was experimented this year, okay? I feel like when you think about this person or people, this could be members of your family, this could be someone at your job, this could be your friends, but when you think about this person or people or group of people, you feel like you didn't have closure, and this is partly on your own. This is partly your fault, okay? You feel guilty about that. And then the first message here is there's nothing to feel guilty about, because the number in this card is number 52, okay? So it reveals progress on this issue, but it also says that you really need to make to take a step. So the key action here would be to really talk to this person or people and come clean about how you feel when it comes to this situation, because then it shows promise that this person or people are going to start mending whatever needs to be mended with you, okay? And this kind of confirmed with the 9 of coins here, or 9 of pentacles here in reverse, which in this tarot, this is specific tarot deck, which is the urban tarot deck, is gain in reverse. So this card suggests that because you don't come clean with these people, because you simply do not give something that I feel about this situation is that no matter what it is, you can't solve it alone. It's not just something that you can say, okay, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, and it's going to eventually just, you know, be forgotten, and it's water under the bridge, whatever. No, this is something that affects your financial stability, or at least the way you experience and the way you take pleasure on your gain, okay? So we have gain in reverse here, and gain in this card specifically, this woman is like living her best life, right? Let me show it to you upright, but you can also see it in reverse. And the 9 of Pentacles is all about that. This is in reverse, so it's kind of like your key action going from regret to clarity involves talking to people who are a part of some complicated issue situation, coming clean, talking about how you feel, because unless you talk to these people, never going to be able to really feel safe, earn the most you can earn, and if you feel like you're earning everything, if you feel there's no material implication, not talking to these people, like in terms of how much you gain, you never feel good enough about yourself and about your gains unless you talk to these people. This is a very specific situation. You need to come clean about something. You need to. There's an elephant in the room, but there's also some sort of difference, not difference, distance between you and this person or people. So it's like if you're watching this bio and you feel aligned with what I'm saying, you were hoping that you could just forget about whatever experience you and these people have been involved in, or this person. It could be only one person, and it's like, no, okay, then 2023 is going to come up and we're going to forget about all of this, but it simply can't, because there are material implications on not talking and not talking to these people. You need these people to mend the situation. You need these people to, yeah, because the other card we have here is the Tower, okay? So the Tower suggests one or at least two interpretations. The first interpretation is you're going to talk to these people if you take the piece of advice that's being given here. And it doesn't mean that things are going to become easier. It means that whichever Tower moment you've been scared of, and that's why you're trying not to talk to these people and just hoping that this situation will never require honest and open communication. This is going to happen, but this is going to happen in a softer way, and this is necessary, even if it's not that soft. So it's kind of saying you need to talk to these people, because the only way of mending whatever has gone through is through a Tower moment. It's through a moment in which things need to get a little bit worse in terms of everybody saying their truth, and maybe it's not that nice piece of, honesty sometimes can hurt, is what they're saying. But this is necessary, and unless you just, muster the strength necessary to do that, you will never have enough resources to do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. It's like this is going to have an impact in your material gain, okay? Okay, so this is what I have for you, option number one. As I said, this is a very short reading. So it's basically, what is it that you have to do before the end of the year, or if you prefer to go from regret to clarity, you need to talk to the people involved in whatever you consider was your regret. You need to talk, you need to talk to this person or people, you need to come clean to them. Otherwise, your financial gain is going to be impacted, or at least you're not going to be as joyful as you could be, taking advantage of your material blessings. So if you're afraid there's going to be a Tower moment. Oh, wait, I didn't mention the other interpretation. The other interpretation is when you talk to these people, you're going to avoid a Tower moment. But I really see that for most of you, it's like you need to talk to these people, and there's going to be a Tower moment, but this Tower moment is necessary. You haven't talked to these people yet, because this Tower moment's coming, and it's going to be maybe not that pleasant. But also remember, if you don't talk to these people, you're missing out on financial opportunities. You're missing out on, it's important that you set the record straight with these people. It's the vibe I'm getting here. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. It helps my work here a lot. And I hope you can take your decisive action. Thank you very much. Okay, so if you've chosen pile number 2, represented by this beautiful crystal over here, then this is your reading. And as I said in the introduction, this is going to be a short reading on how do you go from regret to clarity, which key action you can take now entering Sagittarius season. Let's see what we have for you. We have poised, very interesting. We have worry, and we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, let me take a look at it. So it's such a very different energy. I don't want to give spoilers on the other piles, but I really suggest for this reading that you, I don't know, you use this reading any way you want. I don't want to, you know, interfere with your way of using pick a card readings. I use them in different ways myself. But, okay, I have to tell you, I think that once you've chosen a pile for this reading, you should stick with it, because this is about clear and decisive action that could help you in the next 30 days go from regret attitude to a more proactive attitude. And I've tried to explain this in the introduction if you haven't seen it. So in your case, pile 2, I feel like it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. Because we have poised here, and poised is number 48. I was just checking 48. See here, 48 reduces to 12. So I feel like this next phase in your life, the decisive action has to do with keeping some sort of an attitude that's very, very professional, and just it's almost like you're creating this professional persona, because then I have this works, right? Yeah, works, and it's the Three of Pentacles, which is normally a card of collaboration, right? And there's this whole scenario here, and I hope you can see it properly. So I feel like with poised and works here, it's like for these next 30 days for Sagittarius, your arrow is like and with the Eight of Wands, which brings lots of movement, it's like you need to focus on keeping your poise, keeping yourself collected, and keeping calm, and presenting yourself as the sort of leader that people expect you to be. Because it's what I see here is like the plans have already been traced and negotiated with everyone around you. It doesn't have to be professional, but it really sounds professional. It sounds like you're some kind of leader. It doesn't matter where. It could also refer to, you know, volunteer work or something like that. You could be a leader inside your household. But it seems like what's going to happen for the next 30 days has already been arranged, or it has already been negotiated with the people who work with you. And it's just like, you just need to you're some sort of a leader. So the only thing you need to do is not to overindulge in anxiety, to get over anxious. And I said overindulge in anxiety because it feels like from time to time you like this frantic feeling of the end of an year, or the holidays approaching, or getting overly busy. And it's like the cards are saying this period now is not about that. It's not about being impulsive. It's not about using anxiety as a drug. It's not about being compulsive. It's about, you know, slow and steady wins the race. It's about making everyone around you feel safe. It's about becoming a servant leader. It's about understanding that you're like the emotional glue that provides security and safety for those around you, be it in a professional environment or at home, and then leading people towards the holidays with this kind of attitude. Because with this poised and works here, the first feeling I got is like you're this kind of leader who observes, and then you kind of, you're able to offer from your energy to support where other people are lacking in energy from time to time. You're kind of able of feeding scenarios and people with modulating your energy and offering what's missing in environments. This kind of very difficult to explain. So if you feel like an environment is it's in need, and I think like you think about it in terms of flavors, it's like here we need a little bit of a sugary flavor because people are too aggressive or maybe salty. Not that they're like actually, you know, being violent with each other, physically violent, but things are too salty in here. So we need something a little bit more sugary, and you would become this substance that people are in need. So you're kind of an alchemist, and I see you in need of keeping up the good work in this sense and furnishing what each environment's going to need in terms of a new flavor, balancing acts around you so that the year can wrap up. You're going to be serving other people in this sense, and because this can be kind of draining, you also not need to take care of you, but that's your moment right now. In Sagittarius, you're still serving, and then you're going to have your well-deserved and well-earned rest as Christmas approaches or as the holidays approaches. Because I don't know, maybe some of you work during Christmas, but I see that even if you work throughout Christmas and New Year's, you're going to have your time approaching to rest, right? But up to then, you need to keep this your poise. You will need to help other people go through this phase of Sagittarius or the next 30 days, depending on when you're watching this video, because this is really important right now. So what's your key action? Keeping up your leadership, which is transmuting energies and making everyone feel safe. Basically that. This is your magic. You know how to do it. If you're resonating with this vibe, this is something you know how to do it. Why? Because things are going to gain momentum really fast. And probably for most of you, this is something related to your work. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know about your situations. Let me know if it resonated or not, because I really want to know. And leave a like, comment, subscribe, so we can see each other again. Bye-bye. Okay, option number 3, if you've chosen the Bronzite, then this is your reading on how to go from regret to clarity and what kind of key action you can still take up to the end of 2022. Let's see what we have for you in Sagittarius season. Truth be told, we have Valor in reverse, and we have the One of Swords, which is the Ace of Swords, right? Yeah, the Ace of Swords. Okay, so let's start with Truth Be Told, because I feel like you're regretting not telling the truth. Okay, why are you regretting not telling the truth about something in 2022? Because this lie you've told, if I can say it like that, because I feel like for some of you it was not a straight up lie served on ice. It was more of an omission. Well, you didn't say something that was really true to you, and because of that, and because of that, you feel like you've hidden your valor. Okay, because we have the Valor card in reverse. So Valor here, I'm reading it, since this is the 7 of Wands and it's in reverse, I'm reading this as you didn't think whatever you wanted to say was defendable. Okay, at least in the context where you've omitted or lied about your truth. Okay, you thought about it like, okay, people are going to listen to me, and they're going to, depending on the situation, they're going to, I don't know, cancel me ideologically, or they're going to, oh, I forgot the word. They're going to let go of me, they're going to dismiss me, they're going to, you name it. I am going to suffer the consequences of telling this truth because this truth is not understandable or defendable here in this environment. So I'm simply going to invent a lie or not say it. And now you regret it. And the attitude I see here, which is kind of polemic, is what they're saying is first off, with this Ace of Swords in reverse here, it's kind of like you shouldn't be beating yourself up about this, really, because it was really not the moment for you to say whatever you're regretting not saying. What is showing here as the attitude to be taken, the key attitude to be taken, is understanding that what's making you suffer, so to speak, is your ego. Like, you have plenty of opportunities to show yourself the way you are, but sometimes it's really very important to be gentle and to be and to think about the way you're going to convey your messages. And there's no shame at all in hiding a little bit of what you believe, because you really need that job, because you really need to get your bills paid at the end of the month, or because you really need the emotional support offered by a certain community, because you don't feel strong to come out with your truth. Okay, so what they're saying here is that your decisive action is not necessarily coming clean and telling the truth, so to speak, depending on your case, make you fit your situation. It's more about reflecting, meditating about the situation, and understanding that your ego sometimes your ego makes you suffer for not saying the truth, but you should also look at the kind of the sort of oppression that this environment was creating, to the point that you felt like you couldn't tell the truth. It's more or less like that. Okay, so it's interesting because there's no piece of advice here saying you should run back to them, whomever them is, and you should tell them your truth immediately because you're going to feel better. This is not what the cards are saying. They're saying you should first try to understand oppression, where it came from, instead of keep on, with this whip on your back all the time, saying, I wasn't strong enough to tell my truth, I should have been strong enough, and I'm ashamed of myself because I've omitted the truth, or I lied about that. You should first thoroughly analyze the oppression that was being emanated by that environment, because it feels like you're resisting seeing yourself as a victim, which is in most cases really nice, an admirable position, a way to see life. But sometimes we overburden ourselves with responsibility. If we act like this, we need to understand that nobody is perfect, and in some case scenarios, it's really very difficult, or even dangerous to say the truth. Okay, so it's like a step back you need to take here. This key action right now for you, it's more of a reflexive action. It's a step back, understanding that really there was a reason why you lied or omitted your version of the story, and not to get so hard on yourself, which is really a beautiful piece of advice. But it's going to take you on a journey of better understanding yourself and the environment itself. And it seems to be really necessary before you can even consider whether you should tell the truth, or a version of the truth, or how you're going to revisit this scenario. Okay? So I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will keep on coming here with all kinds of sorts of advice. I hope you really enjoyed it, and it was fun. Okay, and I hope you can work your issues with whatever you've been dealing with. Okay, so okay, so before we go to move on to pile number 4, let me get the light again. Okay, pile number 4. If you've chosen the tiger's eye, let's see how you're going from regret to clarity and what's the key action you can take before the end of 2022 or during Sagittarius season. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have co-create. Okay, and co-create is number 40. It reduces to 4. Let me show it to you. I was not doing this for the other piles, but I think it's maybe more organized. This is my Virgo moon speaking. I love this card. It's so beautiful. Take a look. We have co-create, number 40. Co-create. And then we have strife, which is actually the 5. Yeah, the 5 of wands. Okay. From the Urban Tarot. And it's upright, and we have the 4 of Cups in reverse from the La Santa Muerte deck, which is also a beautiful card. I love it. Show it to you upright, but it's in reverse. Okay, I love how these skulls here, they're open, and it almost seem like those things that oh my god, now I forgot everything. What's his name? The master teacher of Harry Potter. I forgot his name. Okay, like the big wizard of of Gryffindor. I forgot. Albus Dumbledore. Yeah, he had one of those things here. I don't know the name in English, in which he dropped all of his thoughts so that he can see them better, and other people could also see his thoughts as memories. Yeah, so maybe there's also something related to memories and whatever you need to deal with. Okay, but let's start with co-create. Co-create. I feel here with co-create, especially because the other card is strife and it's upright, that whatever you need to work with, your decisive action or your key action, turning regret into clarity, is related to, you see, it's kind of like there's something that you're trying to create that needs conflict. I know this is kind of polemic, but there's something that you're trying to create that needs conflict, and conflict scares you, and then you think maybe what I'm doing is wrong because it's conflictive, and it's kind of like the guides are telling you it's not wrong because it's conflictive. It's how things go. This situation leads to conflict, but conflict is not necessarily negative. Now, let me try to explain that to you by using a metaphor, better saying an analogy. If you are a content creator, if you are a narrator, a writer, any kind of person who works with storytelling, then you know that stories, at least in the Western view of storytelling, the stories need conflict. Otherwise, well, since Aristotle would say this about the dramatic arts, that drama, it doesn't matter if it's not drama really, drama. It doesn't matter if it's tragedy or if it's comedy or if it's something tragic, comic, I think they say. It doesn't matter. It needs conflict. Conflict, it's like the axis around which drama operates, moves, is created. And this is the basis for storytelling. And storytelling is used in many different occupations, many different professions, right? Maybe I'm talking about that because you are a storyteller, either because you work as a writer. One of the occupations we think about when we think about storytelling more directly, like writing, screenwriting, or maybe you're an actor, but you could also be working with advertising, public relations, RP, right? With psychology. In psychology, you use these concepts too. Okay, but aside from that, you could be working in these areas, and it's kind of like you don't understand how conflicts operate in your works of art. And this could be an analogy in the sense that you're trying to co-create with the universe, but you're expecting too much out of your character's curve. You're expecting you as the main character, or situations in which you are to develop too beautifully and too aligned, and in a too steep of a curve of development, because you have such an idealized perspective on how stories should go. It's almost like you're in the story of this beautiful unicorn that trots from I don't know if unicorns trot, really, I don't know, but from field to field, and then one day this unicorn finds a I don't know, goat or something unicorns like, and that's it. And there's no conflict, but you're afraid of conflict, and whenever conflict shows up, you immediately feel like things are not working, and then you give up on initiatives too soon, as if just like an author would give up on a story with a conflict because they're maybe pitying their characters, okay, which would be something less common, but also happens because I know about writers and screenwriters who pity their their characters, okay. But in this case, you would be pitying yourself. You would be pitying the people involved in your projects and initiatives, and what they're saying is this is a tendency of yours. So you're reaching the end of the year or this period in your life, depending on when you came here to watch this reading, which is actually timeless. But anyway, depending on when you're coming here, you're reaching this period of your life, and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, because every time I start something that I really believe in, I think I'm co-creating with the universe. I think everything's beautiful. I think it's the perfect mix of all of my qualities. I feel so strong, but I also feel so elegant, and I feel so gentle and creative, and I feel like I have all the signs from the universe that this is going to work. Then something happens, some kind of huge shift, and conflict between the parts involved happens, just to prove to me that this is not what I should be dedicating to. And then you remember all of those spiritual lessons, like, yeah, if it's easy, then this is the yes of God, and if it's difficult, then this is the no of God. And life is not supposed to be a struggle and things like that. So any sort of little conflict that you see, you think you're struggling, so this is not for you. And I really wanted this to work. Why is not working? Because I see conflicts here. And then it's kind of like they're saying, hey, human beings are not perfect. Life is also about conflict. You shouldn't give up on things just because there's a little bit of conflict. There's at least one initiative in your life right now that you're kind of, I know I'm saying a lot of kind of, I'm sorry about that, but it's just a face. I promise you, I'm not a native speaker, so I have these faces with expressions. Back to what I was saying. They're saying that there's at least one thing in your life right now that you're kind of, again, you look at it and you feel, okay, I'll have to say goodbye to another initiative because I'm feeling conflictive about it again, or because there are people bringing this conflict to me again. And then tarot is saying, if you insist in abandoning everything that comes to a conflictive moment, instead of just charging towards the conflict and dealing with it, you're never going to finish anything in your life. You're never going to truly know what it is to co-create and cooperate with the universe. The universe is not this bland, I don't know, this bland cartoon for kids. Because this is sometimes what I feel from this energy here, like you feel life should be. And they're saying, yeah, it's very beautiful to have this kind of innocent eye over everything that you do. This is something that's helped you a lot, especially in terms of creative, the creative conception of your projects. But conflicts make you grow. Conflicts make the other people involved grow. Conflict makes your project grow. It makes it more beautiful. So if every time there's a conflict, instead of talking to the people, instead of inviting the conflict, instead of using the conflict creatively to make your project better, you just look at it and decide that if it's conflictive, then maybe this project's not for you, or this project's wrong, or you're wrong, or it's in the wrong place, wrong timing. You're never going to finish anything, and you're never going to truly co-create with the universe. Basically speaking, it's like they're saying, your key action right now is to face whichever conflict your projects are bringing you the best you can, this Sagittarius, and talk to the people involved about this conflict, negotiate with this conflict, and understand that conflicts are part of the game. There seems to be a mentality that is, if conflictive views show up in a project that was supposed to be perfect, at least to your standards, it's kind of stains the project in your head, and then you don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. This needs to stop. So if you find a way to stop it, this Sagittarius, your life's going to, highly benefit from that, basically. Because this is going to be a huge shift in perspective that's actually going to be useful in all of your collaborations from now on. This could also apply to relationships, okay? Maybe you hop from relationship to relationship because every time you see a conflict coming up. I really see that mostly it's talking about professional or maybe study-related relationship, study-related projects, but it could also apply to relationships. Maybe you're hopping from relationship to relationship because every time there's a conflict, no matter how small it is, you refuse negotiating because your expectations are too high on how perfect, picture perfect dynamics should be, okay? So they're saying let go of it for a while. Life's not like that, okay? The conflicts could be the best part of what you're trying to co-create. Remember that. So I hope this message has helped. And if it did, please let me know how. Because this message, they can be very cryptic. But if they resonate, and I know they could be everything that you needed to hear, it happened to me lots of times. Leave me a comment, a message, like whatever inspires you or nothing. But it really helps my channel when you do. And I hope it can solve your situation. Bye-bye. Well, option number 5, if you've chosen this stone I call the desert Jasper, then this is your reading on from regret to clarity, the key action you need to take right now in Sagittarius season or up to the end of the year, depending on where you're watching. Could even be for your next 30 months. So let's see what we have here. This was in reverse, right? It's the Observer in reverse. Let me show you the card because I find it more practical like this. The Observer, the number is 49. Yeah. The Observer, it was in reverse. And then we have Prudence, which is the 8 of coins or the 8 of pentacles. Prudence. And we have the 2 of swords. in reverse. So this message is very clear, you guys. Very, very clear. I think it's the clearer message we had in this video up to now. Very practical, really, and even a little bit scary to give. So please listen to your intuition as usual. But since it's so concrete, I will really recommend, after I tell you what it is, to use the best of your knowledge to understand if it's for you or not and how it applies. Because with the observer in reverse here and then prudence with the Eight of Pentacles, what I see is the action you need to take is related to something that you're not seeing, something that you're not observing, okay? And since this prudence is a Pentacles card, and this representation of the Eight of Pentacles is talking about prudence, it's kind of invaded me as a message like these people need to be prudent about something. So this could be talking about excessive spending. This could be talking about not paying attention to the contracts you've been signing or to important papers in your line of work or to deadlines that are going to be, you know, any kind of paper, safety measure, things you have to pay and maybe you forgot about them, any kind of health related issues. But it's not about health like you're going to become sick. It's more about materials / health related issues, like something you don't pay that could end up having some kind of impact in your health, on your health, okay? Because the Eight of Pentacles is all about something that you hone, skills that you hone, okay? And in this particular representation is talking about prudence. The next card we have is the Two of Swords, which can represent a decision. But with the scissors here, I always read this card. I tend to read this card as something also that you need to cut, right? Because a decision also implies something that, well, it's a choice, right? If you're going to choose A, then B will not be present, okay? There are lots of configurations for that. But with the scissors here, it normally implies something that you need to cut out of your life. So basically, I would say there's something that needs to be cut out of your life that you're not paying attention to, maybe because it's hard for you to be prudent when it comes to this specific issue, person, object. And then it goes around practices, papers, people. It's not necessarily about people who could to whom you've given power that you should not have given. It's more about technicalities, and it's about documents. It's about things that you use. You know, this guy here is really looking closely to, admiring and examining this pentacle, right? So I don't see it as something talking about pay attention to the people around you, but it's just you're not observing, you're not being prudent about something that shouldn't be in your life, basically, that could bring problems in the33future. And if you take this key action before the end of the year or during Sagittarius, if you manage to find what is it that needs to be cut away, then your life's going to improve a lot. I'm going to get another card just to see if I can give you any hint on what needs to be cut off. I want to keep this reading short, but yours was really, really short, straight to the point. So let's see if I can have any other kind of hint for you. There's something, it's something unfinished, okay? Because I have the completion card in reverse. So it's something you left unfinished. So why are you saying that we need to be cut off? Then we have ruin in reverse. It's something that you left unfinished because you thought that I know I feel the vibe, but it's really hard to explain. It's something, it could be the IRS. I'm not saying it is, but it has an IRS vibe. It's something that you did the minimum, but you know it would be better if you did it full version. It's something like that. So what needs to be cut is this tendency in this whatever to do it by half. You know, you need to finish something, you need to complete something, you need, if it's a report, then you need to do the full report. If the in Brazil the IRS allows for a short version and a longer version, then you need to do the longer version. It's something that maybe for you it's boring, or you felt it was unnecessary to go that extra mile, so now it's the time to go that extra mile. I'm trying to talk about something that could be represented by many different things for the many different people watching. So I hope you can understand me, but it's something that you need to complete because you thought, you put it in a place of, oh, nothing will come out of it. I can simply do it the most practical way, and I don't have to go, as I was saying, that extra mile. But then they're saying, yes, you need to go that extra mile for an extra safety. This could go wrong in the future. I'm trying to come up with more examples. It's something like, instead of paying the full, I don't know, the full fare, then you pay half the fare. Not fare really, the tax, the full tax, and you pay half the tax. And when you think, oh, nothing will come out of it, it's enough, and maybe it won't be enough in the future. So they're saying, take care, be prudent, be prudent. And when I ask, but why haven't they be prudent? They did something in half. They didn't finish a process, and they are not observing this. This process needs to be finished. There needs to be a clear middle, beginning, end, or something needs to be better taken care of. Something needs to be, they need to go their extra mile for something. That's it. That's what I have, you guys. I hope it really helps you find out what needs to be retouched or something, because it looks like retouching something that you felt was kind of boring. Maybe you felt, I don't need to go that extra mile, and then apparently maybe you do. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helped. If you did, please do not forget to comment on what's happening, and leave a like, a share, subscribe, because it helps my work a lot. Okay, and I hope you can find out what needs to be tackled here. Bye bye. Okay, last but not least, this is time for group 6 with this beautiful, I don't know if this is a green quartz. I don't think it's a green quartz, but I don't know any other name for this stone. I know it's a very beautiful healing stone. Let's see what we have for you in terms of how to go from regret to clarity, your key action. You're the only group that has 2 of these cards. So let's check them out. I have message in a bottle, message in a bottle number 15, message in a bottle. I have loyal heart in reverse, number, what's the number? 35, message in a bottle and loyal heart in reverse. Okay. I have wealth in reverse. Can you see it? I hope you can. Wealth in reverse. And I have the 9 of cups. Okay. So in the end, everything's going to be okay for as long as, let's take a look. What's the key action for you going from regret to clarity? This is also a very specific situation. What I see here is, if you've chosen this group and you align with it, the energy is that in sometime during this year, someone asked you for help, but this person was not loyal to you. You expected this person to, since they asked for your help, you expected this person, could be a group of people, okay? And this is not necessarily, sorry, this is not necessarily romantic. Let me take a sip of water. This is not necessarily romantic, but kind of expected, since these people asked for your help, you expected them to be loyal in a way that they weren't. I see a situation here like you could be expecting some kind of give back, but this give back was not necessarily negotiated. Like, I'm going to give a very silly example, make a future situation. Someone comes at you and to you and says, can you help me with some money? You don't negotiate if this money is going to be returned or not. You don't talk about any kind of interest rate. It's just money that you're going to give and you feel good about it, etc. After a couple of months, you see like this person or people are thriving, and instead of feeling good about them thriving, right? Because you were part of it in a sense, you feel like they should voluntarily offer to give you your money back, either because now you're the one in difficulties, but you're not going to ask them for the money due to, I don't know, maybe you feel like this should be something that occurs to them, you know, but you know, some people are never going to come up with that by themselves, but this is the kind of situation that I'm seeing. And I'm not going to enter, because this is a really short reading, so I'm not going to enter the scenarios in which we're going to discuss here who's right and who's wrong, and I'm not going to do that here today. What I'm going to say is that there was a situation in which this help kind of scenario got really, really complicated, because it turned into a regret-based scenario, and you felt like it was really unfair to you. And now you can even be clearer about how these people operate, and I don't feel like you judge them. I feel like you judge them, but you would judge yourself as well for not saying, I expect to have my money back, just to work with the example of the money given, but it doesn't have to be related to lending money. It's any sort of help that you decide to give, but then you're not quite sure. You're sure when you promise to give it, but then you kind of regret giving it, be it because you're missing whatever you gave, or because you feel like these people don't deserve. And I feel like you're quite, you can understand that this kind of reasoning is complicated, because if you don't have a contract, if you don't have a negotiation, then you can't really charge the person for anything. No matter how your morals go about this. And feeling guilty is also not going to solve anything. So this is what they're going to talk about. And they want you as an action that you should do, a key action that you should do before the year wraps up, or in January. They want you to, this is also more of a reflexive action. We had reflexive action in one of the other piles, but they want you to understand that every money problem you have is related to this conundrum of helping and then feeling a little or a lot regretful and not knowing how to balance how much you give, and maybe not knowing how to think about what you give and futurize if you're going to miss it or not. So they want to, the action here is to meditate on that. Because with wealth in reverse followed by the Nine of Cups, I feel like you're this close to understanding the mechanism, the pattern that always brings you to this situation of helping someone who is then going to seem like unthankful to you, or, you know, I'm sorry, let me turn the light again here. Who's going to then seem unthankful to you, or is going to seem like someone who did not deserve your help. And I don't know how you feel about it spiritually, but in my line of spiritual work and guidance, it's not about who deserves what. It's about us establishing a clear positioning on what we want, what we can, and what we should do whenever we help another person. So these three questions are very important. Before you help any other single individual, you need to ask yourself if you want to do this, if you can do this, and if you should do this, right? And it feels like you've not been asking those three very important questions before you help. You feel obligated to help, and maybe there's a little ego in that too. Like, you feel important and you feel validated when you help other people, but then if you don't balance those the reasons why you help up, and you're very clear and aware on how you're doing, operating this pattern, you end up feeling regretful, because this was an ego-driven quest for utility, or for I don't know, some sort of expectation of being accepted, of being heard, of having these people then serve you, which is very, very common, and which can be negotiated. Before you help another person, you can say, okay, I can help you, but only if you give me this, this, and that later on. And this people, this is an honest agreement. These people can accept your conditions or not. But then you have to learn how to present these conditions beforehand. For some of you, I see that you still have an opportunity this year to present clear conditions before you help another person. And then they're saying, if you have this opportunity, please use it wisely. Do not get silence. Say what you want, instead of waiting for the person you help to just figure whatever you want or your conditions by themselves. Be very clear about what you want in exchange for your help, and don't think that you're an egotistical person, you're a selfish person because you have conditions to help. It's better to say what you expect from another person in exchange from your help than saying nothing and then becoming regretful and then starting to judge the other person on a moral basis, if you understand what I mean. So I hope this message has helped, and I hope you can solve your conundrum there. Please tell me if it resonated, if it didn't, and how. I want to hear about your stories. And that's it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel to see other messages like this one. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.